In this video, we're going to look at SOLs A.2c and A.4c. So we're doing lots of factoring. Greatest common factor when A is 1, when A is not 1, and then solving quadratic equations by factoring. So we're going to run through some example problems really quick. If you need more review than this, you're going to have to go back to the chapter videos that were on factoring. So here I have x squared minus 10x plus 16 that I need to factor. All right. This is one where we can set up with the x. I need numbers that multiply to 16 and add up to negative 10. So if I have a negative number down here and a positive number there, I need two negative numbers. Alright, the factors of 16 that are going to add to 10 would be 8 and 2. Negative 8 times negative 2 is positive 16. Negative 8 plus negative 2 is negative 10. So my factors are x minus 8 and x minus 2. Okay, in this next problem, we're going to circle all of those choices there that are factors of 9x squared minus 39x minus 30. Alright, anytime you have a value other than 1 in front of the x squared, the first thing that I would do is check for a common factor. So 9, 39, and 30 can all be divided by 3. So I'm going to factor out a 3, and I would be left with 3x squared minus 13x minus 10. Alright, and now I'm going to factor this inside further. So the first thing I'm going to do is slide the 3 down. So I still have my 3 outside. And I have x squared minus 13x minus 30, because 3 times 10 is 30. Okay, and now I can set up my x. So I need numbers that multiply to negative 30 and add to negative 13. So one's got to be plus, one's got to be minus. Factors of 30 that would add to 13 if I have positive 2 and negative 15. 2 times negative 15 would be negative 30. 2 plus negative 15 would be negative 13. So I have 3 and times x plus 2 and x minus 15. And remember the last step, we slid the 3 down here, so now I have to divide by 3. Okay, when I do that, 2/3 is already simplified, so I'm going to go ahead and move the bottom up. So I have 3x plus 2, and then 15 divided by 3 is 5. So that would be it completely factored. So if I come up here and find my answer choices, 3 is a factor, 3x plus 2 is a factor, and x minus 5 is a factor. Alright, then this last problem we're going to look at how to solve by factoring. So it's the same thing we've been doing, and we're going to add in one more step. So I'm going to draw my x, numbers that multiply to negative 35 and add to positive 2. Alright, one's got to be plus, one's got to be minus, and the factors here are going to be 7 and 5. So I have x plus 7 and x minus 5, and those are equal to 0. So then my one more step is I'm going to take each factor and set it equal to 0. Okay, and then I'm going to solve. So here I subtract 7 from both sides, x equals negative 7. In this one I have to add 5 to both sides, so x equals 5. So those would be my solutions, x equals negative 7 and x equals 5. And we can use the calculator to help us check and make sure those are correct. So if I pull my calculator out, I'm going to go to the menu, and I'm going to go to graph, and I'm going to graph this equation. So x squared plus 2x minus 35. Alright, and I'm going to get to draw the graph for me. I can only see one of them, so what I'm going to do is reset my window. So F3 takes me back to a standard window. So if I draw it again, now I can see both zeros. And I'm going to ask the calculator to find them for me by pressing GSolve and root. And it tells me that there's a root at negative 7, which we had, and a root at 5. So both of our answers are correct. Alright, and that's it for A2 and A4C.